Everybody, my name is Joey from the Chart Guys. I've been a trader and technical analyst for 3 days, learning under Dan for 7 hours, and I am here to talk about some crypto charts. We've obviously got bulls out and about, Bitcoin breaking its falling wedge to the upside, increasing the odds that a monthly higher low is shaping up from here, but there's certainly more work to be done, and it was certainly the Bitcoin show on this move. So let's get on over here to the charts and hop into them. So here's our falling wedge. We've been watching for a bit. We were kind of looking at it on the daily. Any of these time frames worked. We bounced off of, or rejected off of, rather, this line numerous times and then got the big bull day yesterday, 7.65%. And that's our biggest day, I believe, since back here. Yeah, so since March 20th, it's our biggest day. So definitely a move forward for bulls. But if we zoom out and we take these lines off the chart, we're still just kind of sideways. There's more proving to be done. And one of those tests, we're going to learn something here very soon. And let's go over to the other chart with the volume profile on it. And we've been talking about this area. Lamont's been talking about it. I've been talking about it, that volume profile range. That's been where the battle is at here. And bears got below, couldn't get acceptance below, and multiple times bulls have gotten above, couldn't find acceptance above, and here we are again, pushing up and over. So the strongest look for Bitcoin bulls would be if they can hold this back test of it right now and keep the show on the road. So it's 4-hour consolidation. We're testing the 4-hour 12 EMA, and bulls want to see another leg up from here and turn this into support. That's how these volume profile ranges, the value area high, value area low, it's how it works. You just ping pong in between these zones, then you need to get up and over, turn it to support to officially conquer it. So here we are on the back test. Let's see what bulls can do as far as shaping up a 4-hour higher low. So that's in the near term right now. Bigger picture, let's take a bit of a step back, or we'll zoom out throughout this. So we know we've been saying we need a daily uptrend. This is not a daily uptrend. It's a 2-day uptrend, so it's certainly something for bulls. We have our low, lower high, higher low, and higher high. That's a 2-day uptrend. That's great. And now we're going to try to confirm this inverse head and shoulders on the 2-day time frame, which would require getting through 67,232. So that's the 2-day. We kind of just have dueling time frames. So if that's going to happen, bulls will eventually still need a daily uptrend. At this point, we're not consolidating on the daily. We've got to lose the low of the previous day for that to be the case. And that would require breaking the low of today tomorrow unless something insane happens before the end of the night. And obviously that would be a big red flag. So I know it's a little convoluted, but that's kind of how things get when you're just sideways like this. One of the big things we talk about at the Chart Guys is that when you are in a balancing market environment, your trends are going to have lower odds of being clear, and our trading needs to reflect that. So this is an attempt from bulls to break out of balance and get some trends going, ride this 2-day uptrend for a little bit and try to do what the S&P 500 and QQQ have done. If we pop back over there, we've got monthly bull flags confirmed. Actually, it looks better on SPY, monthly bull flag confirmed, QQQ, monthly bull flag confirmed very quickly. That's good for crypto bulls. They are correlated, so sometimes more than others. But if Bitcoin's going to do that, then we've got 13.58% to go from here. Just because SPY and QQQ did it doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to do it, but it's just probabilities. It increases the odds there. So if we were to see no follow through on SPY and QQQ and have big bear volume, all major sectors at the low of the day at the same time, then that would be a red flag that everybody would need to respect. So back to the talk about balance areas. When you are in balance, it's very important to make sure that your trading reflects that. And we've been talking about that on these streams, but just chatting with some more Chart Guys members, there's been difficult trading because when you look at action like this, it's very clear. This is like a hourly or 4-hour 12 EMA rider. Then we're back to riding the daily 12 EMA. Nothing's convoluted. You know exactly what's going on. You know what your trend is. here, just, me, myself, I'm like, well, I'm looking at the daily looking for a trend change, but we already got a 2-day trend change. I can't even really convey super clearly what's going on because look at it. So this is a sign that something could be going on, but there's more proving to be done. And for me, that will still be a daily trend change from here. The more space bulls get above this value area that we're working on, then the greater the odds that they can actually turn it to support, like they tried to do here, but failed. Then we came back down, bears defended, now we're up and over. So let's see if bulls can defend. Let's look at the 15-minute. Step one of defending this would be a 15-minute uptrend getting over 15-minute 12 EMA. That'd be the first sign that our 4-hour higher low is shaping up. And then we would look to see, can bulls get through 66,744 to see continuation, increase the odds that we're flipping this previous resistance into support? Or do bears see another leg down, take out 64.6K, and then create room for a 4-hour lower high next bounce? Something like that. And then confirm a 4-hour downtrend. Then we're just right back to where we were. And it wouldn't shock me. I'm in a bullish position here from this test. This will pull it over, just kind of show a bit more what the chart guys is like. We got our thread in here. You got everybody doing all sorts of stuff. So Ryan, where's he at? So Ryan had been short from higher up, so he's closing out shorts. I'm looking at this value area high, and just kind of a note on trading in general. You got to be a bit forward looking. You got to plan your stuff out. I don't just get an alert that goes off that says, oh, we're here, I'm going to YOLO in. The post was a good bit earlier. If we pull this up, you can see we were still far away from it. But mapping out that if we get down there, 15-minute oversold conditions, 4-hour 12 EMA, value area high, then I'm going to be interested in a position. And then took some IBIT, had my stop around 64.6K. Honestly, got kept in by like $2. I mean, I was going to be, you got to be a little fluid with it sometimes, which was the plan. But it was nice that I didn't have to really do any of that. But then just, scaling out the position, out half risk free, then identifying 5-minute 12 EMAs, the resistance, I'll take more of my position. You've just got to plan these things out. Like folks will see us trade here at the chart guys and think that it's like magic or something like that. But it's a lot of experience, putting in the time, grinding through the times when it's not good, and then planning ahead. I'm awake at 5:30 every morning, doing rundowns, doing this, doing that. And I'm doing this into the end of the day. If you want to perform like a professional trader, it's akin to being a professional athlete in the sense that it's a lifestyle thing. You can't really do it casually. You can trade casually. That's more like swing trading because you don't need to be like in it. I mean, you still, how I say it is, swing trading is an academic profession. Day trading is a performance-based profession. If you're doing any performance-based profession, you gotta design your life around it and make sacrifices for that. So a little bit of a tangent there, but let's see what bulls can do. They've got to break 65.2K to get the 15-minute uptrend, and then it will just be zoom out game from there, looking for an hourly lower high compared to the high of the bounce up to this point. So that's what we got going on with Bitcoin. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, we can see that this was definitely the Bitcoin show. We got our weekly higher low off the 12 EMA, and we're just watching the uptrend. So I'm looking at it on the 2-week. That's my preferred route there. And what crypto bulls would love to see as a whole, or I suppose maybe just alt bulls, because obviously Bitcoin bulls would be totally fine just to confirm the monthly bull flag and go to the heavens and have Bitcoin dominance pump up to like this multi-top area or something like that. But what alt bulls want to see is see Bitcoin remain strong, keep a 2-day uptrend intact, keep going up, and get a weekly lower high, and then have alts play catch up, because we still have a bunch of alts that are in tightening ranges. A lot of alts in tightening ranges. And I would think that if we're to see rotation and Bitcoin dominance is dropping and the space is being strong, that would be all of those tightening ranges breaking bullish. So just to look at some of them, it's these 2-day EQs. We've got AAVE still in it. We've got AVAX in it. Atom wasn't one. We've got Link in it. We've got Phil in it. OP's not. TIA is not. SHIB is a good one and is close to resistance. Tightening range. Let's see, it's Ondo still tightening up. Ondo still tightening up. We have all of these tightening ranges. And obviously, bulls want to see them break to the upside. It's as simple as that. AVAX, another tightening range. And, more just kind of talking about what the chart guys do. This was what, Wednesday morning? Is that yesterday morning? Wow, time's weird right now. Keeping an eye on these 2-day equilibrium bottom fishes, relatively weak compared to BTC at the moment, but that could shift enough to get a risk-free position off the ground should BTC break out of its wedge. And this whole list pretty much that we just went through, they're all testing support. And now these bottom fishes, anybody who took those bottom fishes has a risk-free ticket to Valhalla for some bull mania if that ends up happening. And if it doesn't, then you stop out. You lose nothing. It's all about taking some risk for the chance to potentially benefit if something moves in your favor. We'll never know if something's going to work. And does bottom fishing feel good? Not early on in trading, because you're like, it's going down. Why would I want to buy? It's all about risk to reward. It's about risk to reward. And these are dinky moves off the low. I mean, dinky 8.5% would be a star move in the stock market, unless you're talking about GME. But that's trading in a nutshell. That's trading in a nutshell. That's a lot of what goes on. And the chart guys, we'll bring it back to show a little bit more. We have some fun in here too. Like in this thread, we're talking about this and that. And I shared something, we're talking about fear and being timid. And this is just a general note for everybody. When we're trading, we get into our own heads when we're just sitting here and we're in the action actively, and essentially everything that we know can go out the window. Tom Hogarth calls it your lizard brain taking over, and we can do mechanical things to keep our lizard brain from being in control. And one of the things that I do is I have a handful of different notes for whatever weakness I may be feeling at a given time. And a gentleman here was feeling timid about it, and I shared one of my notes that I pull out when I'm feeling timid. What would you do if you were fearless? I pull that out, I set it right by my monitor, and it's not asking myself be fearless to do something that I'm struggling with at the moment. It's just saying, what would you do if you were fearless? And it's it's a cheat code, because then you think about, oh, well, if I wasn't fearless, I'd bottom fish this. And then you say, oh, right. I can't be fearless and timid and expect to profit consistently in this game. So stuff like that's a cheat code. And then, we have fun in here. Datsby comes in with his note. Joey told me to 100x leverage. Mike's got his note. Joey loves me even when I stop out. So trading's lonely, man. And it's awesome to have a community of great guys and gals to have fun with, work off each other. And just stuff like the fact that Ryan's got his short coming down and he's covering his short while I'm going long, passing off the torch. It's just fun. It's just fun. Obviously, I'm biased, but I joined as a member who just fell in love with Dan like everybody else. And then, continued to climb up the ranks here. And now I'm doing streams and whatnot. So Chart Guys is awesome. Let's get back through the text. Lots of tangents here today, but it's important stuff. The TA is one thing. TA is 15 or 20% of the game. The rest is all psychological and kind of the meta game and context and all of that. Higher lows, higher highs, multiple time frame analysis. It takes some time to figure out, but that's the easy part. That's the easy part. I know I said I've only been doing this for 3 days at the beginning, but I've been doing it a lot, and well over 20,000 hours, closer to 30 than 20. And I still have to pull this note out at times. People think that it never ends, or that it ends at some point. Maybe for some people it does, but for me it doesn't. So I've got these tools to help with it because why wouldn't we want to help ourselves? All right, looking at ETH, weak. It's weak. It's technically breaking out of its wedge, but we can redraw these lines. We know we just use them as a visual guide. Boom, still in the wedge. So it's tough to even want to talk about ETH too much when ETH BTC is plummeting to new lows. And if you go back in the streams for many months now, we've been talking about this key support and how ETH BTC does not want to follow the same fate as Matic BTC. They were very similar setups. Matic BTC bulls battled and battled. If we go into the weekly, we can see this battling around trying to save it. Then it gave up the booty and it's been all bears there since. It's starting to look more like that on ETH BTC, despite what anybody wants to see. I mean, who doesn't love ETH? We want to see it do well, but the charts are saying that it's not the place to be. Now that can change and we can get a daily bounce, and daily bounce will be great. If the space is still strong, that's probably sending ETH through its falling wedge, but we're looking for a daily lower high. Even if we confirm a daily uptrend, then we're looking for a weekly lower high. When your chart gets structurally damaged like this, it takes time to recover. So not going to spend a ton of time on ETH. We'll talk resistance levels. Looking at high of today, 3,041 is a double top, pretty much, not a double top, 3,058. Next resistance after that. As far as supports, 28.58, and then we're just looking at the lows down here of 28.14. We're still looking for a monthly high or low. We know what it will look like if ETH comes back to life, and that will be ETH BTC confirming some uptrends, getting over weekly 12 EMA. Doesn't mean ETH USD can't go up in the meantime. If the whole space stays strong, it's going to go up with it. But it's all about, where do you want to have your money? You want to have your money somewhere where you're going to be able to grow it the most, and that's just not it on ETH. So still watching the fallen wedge, still watching monthly 12 EMA a little bit lower, still watching daily oversold conditions. If we can get down to them, that would be like an overthrow of the wedge, essentially. If we were to bust out the bottom of the wedge, hit daily oversold, and then V-shape it, those are difficult to play. But let's look in the 4-hour. Lost the 4-hour 12 EMA, got a lot of room for a 4-hour lower high. You compare that to Bitcoin, it's a different story. Did that alert go off? Give me a second. I gotta figure out if I'm taking more IBIT profit. I was gonna take it at 15-minute 12 EMA first time around, and we didn't actually get to it. So I rode all the way back down, but I think I'm gonna preemptively just take off a little bit more here. All right, so I still got some of my position. I plan to close it out before the end of the day, so when I'm doing IBIT, I'm a little quicker to lock in some profits. All right. What do we got? LTC, just continuing to tighten up. 3-day EQ. Resistance going to be 84.23. And nothing really changing here unless that breaks. And as far as relative strength and weakness, it's all about the weekly 12 EMA on LTC BTC. So what else we got? Sol, that 3-day cup and handle we were talking about, confirmed. And again, it's not exactly a cup and handle because it's cup and handle is a continuation pattern, but the psychology is certainly there of the double top, bull flag below, and then the break, and lots of room for a daily higher low compared to 137.78. And ultimately, this is bulls fending off monthly consolidation, getting a 2-week higher low set. So we are not in a daily uptrend. Bulls want to confirm a daily uptrend to be more confident in follow through. And you can see the relative strength. Look at this bounce. Didn't even get to the 4-hour 12 EMA. It's bouncing up more. This is a good lesson here in relative strength. We've got a stronger bull in Sol. Let's look at a slightly weaker bull in Bitcoin. And then look at a much weaker bull in ETH. You want to be playing your strong names long and your weak names bear. That makes your life a lot easier. You can do the opposite, but much lower probabilities of success, and it's higher risk, higher reward. So Sol, trying to get a healthy 4-hour higher low set, got to regain the 15-minute uptrend to increase the odds of that. Sol BTC, let's check back in on that. So kind of battling here still. We broke this resistance, didn't see follow through. Now we're breaking this resistance, not totally seeing follow through. But again, if you can confirm a daily uptrend, reconfirm a daily uptrend, that would be a big vote of confidence. Let's look at the 4-hour. Very similar to Sol USD. So I don't know. I'm not really going to hold this resistance break without follow through against bulls, because essentially the whole space started coming down. And with Sol being more volatile, it is going to pull back more than Bitcoin, which is going to make the ratio drop. So ultimately, what would make this a red flag is if we were to lose the 4-hour 12 EMA from here. Then we can say, okay, now we're having some more issues, but we'll be patient with bulls for now. RNDR was a lead bull on the bounce and is now much weaker here. So to me, this is looking like some weekly consolidation trying to shape up. You had bulls try the daily bull flag. Bears defended resistance, and then we came back down below. If we look at the weekly chart, we can see how it wouldn't be shocking to see weekly consolidation. And if we get that, anything over 685.9 would be a weekly higher low. Let's while I was talking crap about ETH, I was thinking about INJ and how talking crap about it gave it that one nice day. So maybe we just gotta give ETH a little tough love. You fat cow, you're supposed to be the king's assistant. All right, that's it for now. We don't want to go too hard. I think that's all I'm looking to talk about here today. Oh, we'll talk about Pepe because it's staying strong, much stronger than GME. We know it got a little extra boost with all of the GME and just general meme hype. But honestly, if you looked at this chart and you listened to everything that we were saying in the streams, and again, when I say we, I mean me and all my personalities that work together within my head. That's not referring to my team members as my personalities. But anyways, the relative strength has been sticking out on Pepe for a long time, and it continues. We got new all-time highs. We're looking for a daily higher low. We're a daily 12 EMA rider. If you're looking to play bullish, Pepe is a good place for it as things stand now. SHIB potentially getting ready to come out on the map. Tightening ranges are beautiful. They get everyone on the same page, and they give opportunity to bulls and bears. Bulls are playing long off the lows. Bears are playing short off the highs. Simple as you like it. And yeah, that's all I'm looking at right now. Anybody sticking out percentage-wise? Not really. Let's see what y'all are looking at. Hop into chat. Karan Bell. Hola. Adil. Hello. Let's see. Ryan V, the man himself, is in chat. Bulls were really impressive yesterday with that 1-hour stair step to historical overbought. Now they got to make it stick. Yeah, that is. It was a very impressive move. And, you know, I thought that we were going to get some more defense here, but just motored on through. And now they got to make it stick. So that's 4-hour higher lows and higher highs, daily higher low and higher high, and also a nice shout out to the historic RSI indicator there. It's just gangbusters. You can get this info without the indicator, but what you have to do, if you're trying to get this info without the indicator, you got to pull up your chart, maximize your RSI, scroll back, be like, all right, that looks like it's about the high, and you got to go all the way back through here. Nope, that's the high, and it takes time. It takes time. You know, it's nothing. The indicator isn't anything insane. It's a quality of life thing, because when you're doing this every day, it's so much nicer to just be able to pop over to that, see what you're doing. And these bars, man, the bands, they almost never get breached. It can happen. You don't want to bet your firstborn on it holding, but it gives you a good location of like, all right, there are greater odds of change here than other locations. We are at historical extremes. As long as the 1-hour chart has been printing, we have not gone higher. You know, TradingView, depending on your subscription, you know, I get 20,000 bars look back period. So for the last 20,000 hours, this is the highest it's been. 20,000 hours covers all sorts of news, all sorts of crazy runs, all sorts of everything. And just look at it, dinged it, dinged it, dinged it, dinged it, dinged it. So I'm biased because I designed it, but it's sweet. It's sweet. And if you want to check it out, go to chartguys.com. And I think it's under resources. I'm not a salesman. I like cringed inside saying that, but it is what it is, and it's freaking sweet. What else we got? What up, GR? Got Crypto Chill Bear says Link's about to rip. Let's see. Link's a tightening range one. Oh, it is about to rip. That's really sticking out. Got volume. I mean, we're still a good bit from our resistance though. 15.16.5 is what's got to get taken out. And I would say a lower high compared to that is still the most likely scenario. But let's see if Link BTC is breaking its thing to the upside. That was getting tight here. No, that did get the bear break. Which, as I was saying last stream, which ended up being wrong here, I said if Link BTC gets this bear break here, then I would be less inclined to bottom fish Link. But obviously bottom fishers still rewarded. And Link BTC, we need to get over the 2-day 12 EMA. If Link USD is about to rip, Link BTC, this needs to not just be a 2-day bounce that rejects from the EMA that's been rejecting us for 2 months now, 2.5 months. Let's see, GR missed the beginning. Are we going to 50K? 1 second, let me just find my crystal ball here real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Can't find it, so I guess we'll never know. If we're going to 50K, and this is gonna, it might sound lame, but if we're going to 50K, what do we got to do? We got to take out 56.5. That's just the game. We don't know anything else. What would it require to take out 56.5 from here? Probably a good bit of bear volume or like a slow bleed back down. So that's just as simple as it is for it. We got to keep this little dinky weekly downtrend intact and go lower. Let's see if 50K is like daily oversold. Yeah, right about there. And remember this, if we get a monthly higher low set from here, it will be the quickest monthly higher low off of all-time highs in the history of Bitcoin. The average by taking out one fat outlier is 32%, and we've pulled back 4.5%. So bulls are proving it right now. They've got a lot more proving to do, but I absolutely am keeping in the back of my mind that this would dwarf the fastest consolidation. But a big part of that too, in my opinion, is the broad market. You had monthly consolidation on the S&P 500 and QQQ, and in the strongest monthly uptrends, daily oversold marks your monthly high or low. They ding daily oversold and V-shaped to new highs. So that's helping Bitcoin stay strong. You better bet that if the broad market confirmed a weekly downtrend and had some fear, that Bitcoin would probably be lower right now. So if we're going to get that monthly high or low set, the next phase that I kind of realized I talked over is bulls need to confirm a weekly uptrend from here. So we're not in a weekly uptrend. You got to confirm a weekly uptrend. And I don't know if you guys can hear my cat yowling out there. Sounds like he's got something. Hold on a second. Oh, you're just being noisy. Come on in. Yeah, come on. If you're coming. I'm not coming out. Yeah. Howdy. Howdy. I'm streaming. I kind of have to, like, when he's making that sound, I have to, like, block the door with my leg because sometimes he'll try to bolt in with, like, half a chipmunk or something. But yeah, that sounded like his proud meow, not as just I'm being a whiny boy meow. But yeah, we got to get a weekly uptrend. If we're getting a monthly high or low, we got to continue the weekly downtrend. If bears are going to see 50K, try to work towards monthly 12 EMA, which is right thereabouts as well. What else we got? A Dill's looking for a long because he missed the move up from CPI. Yeah, you just got to ask yourself, do you want to be conservative or aggressive? Aggressive bulls are looking for the long now off of this 4-hour 12 EMA. More conservative bulls are going to be patient for a daily higher low or 12-hour higher low. I'm still liking the 12-hour. Remember from last stream, this was the 12-hour inverse head and shoulders we were watching to confirm. And, you know, one thing, and I'm not trying to bag on you, it's very easy to want to make entries after the move already happens, but your risk to reward and just overall opportunity increases a lot when you can have a little bit of an anticipatory element to it by like seeing this 12-hour inverse head and shoulders and knowing that like, okay, well, we know we got a daily falling wedge. We know we've been bumping up on this resistance. Now we've got a 12-hour inverse head and shoulders. Your risk to reward is just so much better entering down here. I know that doesn't do you any good now, but that's why we do these streams, to talk about these things. That's why in the chat room, we post this stuff ahead of time because it's a lot easier. So most aggressive is looking for the 4-hour higher low now. More patient's going to look for like hourly oversold and the 12-hour higher low. But then at that point, if we pull back into here, then that's like a bull break without follow through, and we're just back to this choppy range. So, which is certainly a possibility. But at the end of the day, no one knows what's going to happen. All you got to do is set up a play, have an edge, put your risk on, and then see what the markets do. That's all we can do as traders. We want certainty. Like as humans, we're naturally averse to uncertainty, but you got to learn to love it if you're playing this game like actively, doing the active navigation and even the bigger picture stuff. But the burden is a lot less for the bigger picture stuff. It takes a lot more time to play out. Your position size is typically smaller unless you're a maniac, and you typically have this long-term horizon, so you may be riding through the dredges for a little bit. But yeah, so if you're trying to be aggressive off of this now at this point, maybe you're waiting for an hourly bounce big enough to then fish off of this low. Bulls haven't proven anything yet. Let's be clear. You can wait for an hourly bounce big enough and then say, okay, well, now I'm going to try to fish off this low, see if we can get enough bounce back, get risk-free, and then see if you got your tickets to the show. So let's see. Bulls trying to get over this 15-minute 12 EMA. What time is it? I'll leave the rest of my position for now. Let's see. Tupaj says, how do you trade? You got a little bit of an idea of that trade review that I talked about here of the current trade I'm in, but there's a lot more if you go to my Twitter. Let me pull that up. I post a lot of my stuff on Twitter. Go to my profile here, and obviously the chart guys, I post almost all of my trades in the chart guys. But yeah, I'm new to Twitter, junglefunk _ all the GME stuff. I had like one of the best stretches of my career on GME. It was really awesome. But like, while very high risk, high reward, you're all about to see me get wrecked or hit a banger. And that was shorting consecutive halts up on GME on the first day. So yeah, lots of good stuff in here. And this gold falling wedge, gold falling wedge, do or die time. I'm buying here with a stop close to the apex. Let's take a little look at gold, see how that one's going. Pretty nice. So and this was the entry down here. So I can't answer that question simply. How do I trade? If you go to the Chart Guys website or Chart Guys YouTube, there's a playlist called Joey Webinars. It's a 4-part webinar series that my goal was to essentially give all of the information that one could need to play this game. So they're in an order intentionally. You shouldn't move on to the second one until you're rock solid with the first one. You shouldn't move on to the third one until you're rock solid with the first two. And honestly, the fourth one, correlations, is like icing on the cake. I probably wouldn't worry about that until you're like 10,000 hours in. Yeah, not 10,000, probably like 5 or 6,000. It's definitely the least important of the three. Let's see. What's up, Ryan Healy? I'm doing decent, man. Hope you're doing well as well. The Money Bum, I love you too, brother. Thanks for spending some of your afternoon with me. All right, so that link is news, says Doffy. Yeah, it looks like news when it's kind of doing its own thing like that, with the volume like that, and following through like that. Yeah, we'll see. At the same time as this is like nice for bulls, this is honestly what a bear wants to see that is looking for a 2-day lower high. You want to be extended into that. It's the type of thing where you can probably do a 1 minute, not a 1 minute. You probably got a stair step of sorts that you can play off of. There's actually not a great setup for it. I guess what I would do in this context, I mean, we'll see. Let me mark this up. Let's map this out. If you were a bear looking for a 2-day lower high, you want bulls to be extended into it because essentially, like let's look at our historical 5-minute RSI indicator. We're there. So, we're getting into that spot. 15-minute could get up into it too. That's what a bear is looking for. And then you're saying like, all right, I'm gonna, if we have a nice stair step into it, you can do that. Or you can say, I'm gonna wait till we lose the 1 minute 12 EMA, fish the high, and then look for the move down. So that's what bears want to see. Bulls want to see healthy consolidation after this. Hold the 15-minute 12 EMA. See decreasing bear volume on the pullback. Let's see if this 5-minute RSI indicator ended up dinging it. I would bet that it's close, if not. Let's see. Do I use any other indicators when trading? I mean, what you see here is pretty much what I use, but I've done a lot of different stuff. I'll in the commodity space and a little bit in the crypto space. I'll do the simple moving averages, the 20, 50, and 200. I used to do a lot of TD sequential that I don't really use anymore, and that's the main bet. Used to use some VWAP. Yeah, but pretty much it's RSI and EMA 12 and 26. I certainly look at volume, but I wouldn't say it's a big part of my trading. And then I do volume profile as well. Like, what do we got on here that I've got mapped out? Pull in your fixed range volume profile stuff, and you can just see, look where Mara's topping up, right off that value area low that had been doing a bunch of stuff. So if you want to learn more about that, Lamont's your guy for sure. He's an absolute wizard with it. What are my thoughts on Mara? That's well timed. Let's go back. I don't know if I have any thoughts on Mara right now, man. It's kind of not doing a lot. We got bulls looking for a monthly higher low, and they need to regain a weekly uptrend if it's going to shape up. So ultimately, I guess if we were to go back up and break 2103, that you could say that's a dinky weekly uptrend, but I don't know. I would probably want to see something like this. Left shoulder, head, get up, go tag that POC, and then come and get a right shoulder to try to really shift some momentum. But back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, it's so much easier to trade something when you're just trending and you can do stuff like that. When you're chopping around here, it's a lot more difficult. That being said, that's why volume profile is gangster, because you have areas that you can target even when trends aren't necessarily clear. You have these zones that you can work off of. But bigger picture, no real thoughts on Mara. All right. Sage, I did check the charts. I'm talking coming off of all-time highs. You will not find I think the smallest monthly consolidation we've had off of all-time highs is 14%. And we can go look at BLX. I'm talking specifically off of all-time highs, monthly stair step. Where was our dinker? It was this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh no, that was the 4.82. Ah, dang it. Now I got to pull up my data. 1 second. I do want to be thorough with it. Actually, it might be easier to find on my Twitter. We'll be thorough with it. Yeah, here we go. No, I guess that one wasn't off of all-time highs. I thought 14 was the smallest. But y'all got it to see behind the scenes of YouTube there. Let's see though. I don't know why I wouldn't have marked this, because that is technically off of all-time highs there. So maybe invalid data set. Who would spread lies on the internet? Yeah, so you could say 4.82. If you don't want to call that a double top and you want to call that a monthly stair-step break from all-time highs, there is another one comparable, and that would actually be pretty similar to this. You know, pretty close. Pretty close. Oh, it's 5.3 on BLX. On Binance, it's 4.5. Stop wasting time, or not wasting time, but yeah, the bottom line is we can, you know, whether we want to split hairs over whether that one counts or not, which it does count technically. So this would still be the fastest in history, but 19, 81, 25, 52, 14, 37, 38, whatever this one was, 35 probably. This would be quick. This would be quick. What are my thoughts about BA? BA is just a big quarterly equilibrium, man, and nothing's changing until that's the case. I think we're looking for the quarterly higher low still, and I would love to not have to fly on their planes. And those are my thoughts. It's crazy how bad they are. I know it's like a small percentage, but good heavens, you gotta have a better batting average than that, in my opinion, if you're flying people around. I see AA Dill, you closed it before CPI. There's nothing wrong with that, being conservative. Sage responded and redacted. All right, everybody, that's all I've got here today. We got a Chart Guys stream starting up in 1 minute. Don't want to conflict with that. I am going to lock in more of my IBIT. We'll just do it right now. I'll leave a little runner to see if bulls can keep control into the end of the day, and then I'm going to close it out at 4 and get off the computer and probably go romp around in the woods. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for spending some of it with me. Let's see if bulls can follow through, or if we just enter back into the chop zone for more difficult trading. Farewell. Hope everyone is faring well, and I will see you on Monday, and I'll probably see you on Twitter throughout the weekend. Adios.